You, what up? It's Chris. I hope you are doing well. We are going live here on TikTok, and I'm in DC right now. I have brought the artwork down to DC, and I want to share some of the artwork with y'all. I'm going to share, actually, let me take this coat off. I just came in from outside. I'm going to share some of the canvas prints that I have. I'm going to share some of the books that I've made, and I'm going to share some of the individual small prints that I've made. And if you are interested in artwork, hit me up. We'll talk a little bit about my process and what I've been doing, and you'll get an idea of like how much stuff I tend to make. First off, with this series of prints, I've done hundreds of these style of, basically they're collages and overlaps. And I take the picture of the person. So in every one of these images, there's a photo that I took. Like there's a person that I photographed. That's the homie Laura and that's Alec. And then I take those photographs and I do all types of collage work, layering, some with images like this one. I took pictures of a maple tree when the colors were changing, and I did an overlay of that with a person I photographed in the fabric. So all of the images are totally different styles. Some of them are in this abstract form. Some are like this, where I did some collage work, and you see it's like I pulled their face apart. And it's a mix of digital design and photography. Some it's a bit more photorealistic, like where you can see the person's face, and others are going to be a bit more abstract. Like, what's this one? Hold on, let me try to find that. Oh, yeah, this one's very twisted because I cut and paste the hands all around, so it's an overlap of body parts. And so I have hundreds of these, and that was a self-portrait that I did with the overlay. A lot of it is from work that I started out doing that involved the human form or nudity, and I was having difficulty showcasing it. I'd go to places and they're like, we can't show nude artwork, we can't show the type of content. And when I started doing this type of overlap and this type of work, that's far more, in my mind, just visually interesting in terms of color and tone and the type of art presented, I started having more opportunities to show the work. So now I've been making these prints in order to figure out what I want to do on large scale. I want to do much larger prints. These are only 4x6s, and I have hundreds of these. Like literally, if you want to hit me up and get some prints, I have hundreds of them. And they vary in style. Some of them, like I said, are very abstract. Others kind of pull, let's see if I got any of my very colorful, And so each one, much different style. I went through a little era where I was also doing some Cubist stuff. Let me see if I can find some specific work. This one was dope. And so as you see, I photograph the person, and then I do the graphic design over it. So after a while, I was like, how do I showcase this to people, and how do I figure out what I want to print on a large scale? Because I have hundreds of these. I can't figure out what to print because I have so many of them. So then I started making these art books. And in handing out the art books, I've been getting a much better idea of what people are interested in, what kind of images stand out, and I've been able to sell the books at shows. And so the books are all totally unique. I do a one-of-one run on the books. So this is the back cover, and we actually photographed my friend here. She had her skin pierced with fish hooks. They're hooks they use for catching sharks. And that's not Photoshop, like where you see, I don't know if you can see the hooks going through the skin. That's real. My friend who did that piercing is a professional piercer. The woman in the photograph is a nurse and healthcare professional. So we had it all sterilized. We was in a spot, just the three of us. Other people couldn't be around. And so that's a real picture that I took of a person. She wasn't fully suspended by the hooks. We designed the kind of setup and the set so that it would look like she's suspended, but she's standing on the ground. But that's really her skin being pulled taut. And then I do the graphic design and overlay work. This is my homie right here, and you can see the face that's in there, but then you also see the design work. This was, I think, a bunch of leaves and twigs and other natural items that I did the overlap work with. Some are more abstract like that, where it looks more like kind of Salvador Dali style or like some Picasso style. Some are very abstract, where you really are going to lose the person in them, but you will be able to see the person sometimes. And like I said, each book is different. So some of them are a bit more photorealistic, like you can see the homie Gravity in that one. And I purposely wanted to do this style that forces you to try to look into the image, really see what's in there, explore the design. And if people complain about artificial intelligence taking over art, artificial intelligence can't make this. Like I've tried to use prompts and I've tried to do things to see if AI can create this type of imagery and collage work. It can't. And so I love being able to present this stuff. This is my homie, Optimus. And all the people in these photographs are people that I know. And here you can see this one. The way that I did the collage, I kind of distorted the proportion of the face. And so in a way, it looks totally natural and normal, but nope, it's still slightly off. Then this is one of my favorite ones. I have a larger print of this one. And this one's a mix or a collage of a plant that I took a photograph of down in Florida, mixed with my homie, who was modeling a couple years ago. Yeah, then here. So this book is mostly black and white images. There are some colors in there, but it's mostly black and white. For a long time, I was shooting predominantly black and white work, but I have now since started doing really colorful stuff. This is the homie Mandela. Iskia, you may know him from So Imagine. That's the homie. And so I did a couple pieces of art with him. And this is the homie Laura on the backside. She runs a store called Rack Shack in Brooklyn, which is a lingerie shop, and they sell bras and other amazing items. But these are very colorful. How like the last set were all black and white. This is a totally different style. There is a person's face in there. Totally different style. And you can see the homie Lux that's in there. So these books, I have like 10 of them. This is the homie Ryan Edwards. He just moved out to Canada, right before the election. Smart man. But I got it looking like the religious images. And these are all done via actual photograph. Like I do the digital photography, and then I do Photoshop, and I design stuff sometimes in Midjourney, or I design stuff with other images that I've created, and then do the collage and overlap. Nothing you see is the output of Midjourney. Like Midjourney cannot make this. Like anything you're seeing in these books, the output, like what you finally see, is done through my collage work and through my activity. Let's see. Then we have some hardcover books. We have some multiple shape joints. So I have probably like 10 different books. If you're interested, hit me up. Oh, look at that. Yeah. All right. And then outside of the books, let me take you over here. I started doing the epoxy. So for your furniture, you can get the collages done onto your furniture. So moving forward, I want to do a lot more of these. It will take a lot of images, and I want to do some larger prints, but I'll be able to do like bookshelves, cases. You can see the epoxy reflecting. But yeah, so this is safe. Like if you use this and spill water on it, it won't mess up the collage or anything like that. So we have these. And then I'll show you some of the actual larger prints that I have. 2 seconds. Over here, we have, this is the homie Kim. And so again, you can see there's a person in each one of these images. You just gotta look. You gotta use your mind to find it. Then we have, this is one of my favorite images because of its subtlety and like its kind of simplicity. And if you look really close, you can see the image in it. My friend had an amazing hood / like cowl that she's wearing in it. And the bush that you see, like the plant, the flowers, are from across the street from our art space. So this is a pure mesh photograph. There was no digital design or artificial intelligence implemented in this one. It was all just like basically an overlap. It's not double exposure. So I want to make sure people that are trying to figure out how I make these, I don't do it by using a flash and doing a double exposure or something like that. I literally create from multiple images. So yeah, I took the picture of my homegirl in here, but then I also took pictures of plants and a bunch of other stuff. And when you look at it closely, you'd be able to see that it's a lot of stuff going on in here. I'm about to fall. We out here. But you can see, let me see if I can get it on here without that big sound light. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. So it all starts off as a photograph. Then I do that work. All right, now let's show you. I'm going to turn the camera around so I can show you more stuff over here. Flip camera. Now, the early phase of me doing these overlaps was like this. So this is my homegirl, Alyssa. And you can see it came out really ghosty. I started trying to make them a bit more artsy because people were getting freaked out for the ghostly nature of it. But I really dig these. And this is like a 16 by 20 or something like this. This is a 20 by 30. So that's a nice size joint right there. Then, is there a second one back there? I believe there is. So let's see. But you can see up close, it gets a bit wavy and abstract. And I did not do any design to make her face disappear. When I used the cloth and fabric, it led to that when I did my layering. Okay, stuff falling out. Then you got to see that work. And then this is my fun little collage over here, where a lot of people are pointing fingers and trying to say who caused what right now and what's wrong with the country. And I'm tired of all the finger pointing. I want to celebrate humanity, but it's very funny to me because you have the Muslims, the Jews, the conspiracy theorists, the scientists, the socialists, the capitalists, the media, the environmentalists, the communists, the police, everybody pointing at each other. The Illuminati, the colonists, military-industrial complex. You see Illuminati up there. There are a lot of them. And then over here, you see me, just in the cut, entertainers, and then you got Ja Rule. You got to always ask, like, well, what does Ja Rule think about it? So that one is for sale as well. Then we move over here, and I have these fun little collage pieces. Like, if you want to make your own collages of my work, I also have these available. These are some of the cutouts that I use to create my on wood collages. So the way I make this piece here is I take these little cutouts that I've made and then I design them. So I have another one that's on the way. And you can see these are super abstract. Oh, that's not Homie Kim. And so I would offer, if there are artists out there and they want to make collages utilizing some of my pieces, I would sell you a batch of pre-cut kind of pieces so that you can make your own artwork at home. That one is dope. Oh, that's super fresh. But yeah, all these, again, designed by me. And this is one of the AI designs that I then changed. And so I cut out the part of it that had the person in it, but I will make some AI designs to use in my layering or in my creation of the backdrop fieldscape here. All right. And then over here, we have some, what would you call this? Contact sheets where you can get a better idea of, yeah, these are some of my other images. Let me see if I can zoom in so you'll see it. And so this is a contact sheet where I just have, 40 or 50 different images so that I can try to figure out what I would want to print up or what I want to do on a larger scale. And so you'll see kind of a repeat of some of the images as I figure out the design style. Like the one right there is from the same image as this one right here, but they look totally different. These two right there and right there from the same series, but images are different. That's kind of dope. So yeah, I got a lot of content over here. Then this is a 8x10 print. I'm going to start putting these into some frames. As of now, I don't have a lot of my stuff framed, but I'm going to get some frames for these. This is one of my favorite ones. And you see her eyes right there. Makes it look like part of her skin is flaking off. And again, no AI. This one is just from how I did the layering and the blending and the shading and the collage work between multiple photos. This was initially had a AI element at the base level, and then I started doing the overlapping and design work and came up with this. So again, you can't get this just from going into Midjourney. You got to do your own work to end up with this type of stuff. Then shout out to the homies, Go Push Pops. We photographed that in a display case. So it's like a 40 by 40 display case that we used to have in my old loft and art space. And then, yeah. And so some of them, like I said, are relatively portrait-based. So that gives you an idea of most of that style of work with the abstractions. Now, keep in mind, I have like prints. Like these are paper prints. This is for later. Those are nude, so I can't show them on TikTok. And then to close out, I have a series of joints you can, I forgot. Then we got these two. You can see the person's face in there slightly. And shout out to Kim. And then to all the people that know, shout out to Sean Price, one of the illest MCs I've ever seen perform live, and definitely someone that inspired me. If you know about Sean Price, Duck Down Records, Boot Camp Click, all that good stuff. Yeah, dope. So this is some of my work earlier before I started doing the overlap. And obviously, it's a bit more oriented to the human form, which makes it much more difficult to get placed. Or when I try to show it, like I can't show you this one, I'll show you the feet. If I show you this one on TikTok, this will get my account shut down. So I can't show you that. I want to show you that one, but it might get my account messed with. I want to show you that one, but I can't show you that because definitely can't show you that one. I can show you this one. And so this is how the photos start out. It will be a person in the fabric and the material. And so then when I do the overlap and the shading and everything else, it's how you get to this. And so this type of image started out like the one you just saw. And there is a person's face in here. You would just have to search for it for a fair amount of time. This is one of my favorite ones. If you know about hip hop, this is Idea from Idea and Abilities. He's rocking a shirt that says Idea is Dead. This was shot at the Knitting Factory a number of years ago. passed away a couple years after that. And so it was ironic, sad, but also you got to celebrate some of the illest MCs. He won the Blaze battle. For y'all who are hip hop aficionados, you'll know who Idea is, and the Orphanage and all the folks that rocked out during that time period. Yep, this is another example of what the photos look like before I do the work. And of course, stay focused. So they go from this to that to that to this. Let me find one that's super bright. Yeah. And so they end up as this. So this one started out in the same way as the others. And I have a lot of these little cards. So hit me up if you're interested in learning more about my art. If you'd like to sit with me and make some art, or allow me to photograph you so that I can make some art, it'll be dope. And shout out to Mandy. See y'all soon. Peace.